left foot. Right foot, now left foot. Right foot, now left foot. One hand. Two hands. Hit your rollie. Hit that rollie. Do your dance. Now lean with it, rock with it. Lean with it, rock with it.
So that's TikTok. Are you putting one up, Moons?
I've actually I've done one with my daughters.
Have you?
Yeah, a few weeks ago. So hopefully we won't find that one.
I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I wonder if Justin Longmuir is going to put one up. The Fremantle coach has been good enough to join us. Or should I say he was Fremantle's coach. For the last 2 weeks, he's been West Australia's finest furniture maker, I understand. Welcome to you, Justin.
G'day, boys.
You've been making a bit of furniture, have you? Is that your side trade?
Yeah, it is. I've been getting in the shed on the tools on the weekends since I've got not much else to do, and something I sort of had my finger in, I suppose, for a long time, and just had a bit of time, so decided to take the young fella in there and teach him a few things to do with power tools and pass a bit of time.
So what are you whipped up? Like a giant dinner table or a bird cage or little bird?
No, a bit of furniture, Dwayne. I've made an outdoor table and just a little coffee table to go outside. So they both came up all right, and the missus is pretty happy with them. So got a few brownie points.
Very nice. How many of the players are actually doing other things, other pursuits outside of what they would normally do?
Oh, well, we've tried to get everyone to do something outside. What levels that is varies. I mean, Nat Fife's down working pretty much a full-time job on his with his family business, driving trucks. We've got some young other players working at IGAs, some coaches working, doing some stuff as well. But there's a lot of players trying to make the most of this time, catching up and getting ahead in the uni studies. And there's a lot of guys trying new things like meditation and mindfulness and those sorts of things as well. So we're trying to encourage all our players to invest in this time and make the most of it.
How much communication, Justin, do you have with the players on a weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever it is?
Well, a lot, Moons, and it's probably not just me. We're trying to make sure that we're sort of, I suppose, got a web of connection with our players, and that's not just staff to players and coaches to players. It's also player to player. I think that's the most important interaction they can have at the moment is the player interaction. So we've tried to set up a network of connection, and so far so good. I feel like our players are invested in what they're doing, and hopefully we come out the other side of this better.
Justin, Moons and I were having a discussion before about self-discipline, the players' motivation for looking after themselves and training and doing all those sorts of things. Do you think it's easier for the older players, or is that enthusiasm of the younger players perhaps giving them the advantage in terms of self-motivation whilst isolated?
Yeah, I think it's probably all the younger guys at the moment. They've probably got a little bit more time on their hands than some of the older guys, and they're used to doing things together in pairs. So, and the other thing with our younger guys, a lot of them live together, so they're able to drive each other and motivate each other when one's feeling down. The other ones pick them up. So, got a lot of players that, being a young group, that live together and spend a lot of time together naturally. So they're doing a good job. Some of the older guys have got a lot of other stuff on their hands, like dealing with kids and homeschooling and those types of things. So their time is spent a little bit differently.
Justin, when the AFL does give the go-ahead for footy clubs to come back together, how many players do you have interstate, and how hard is it going to be to get those boys back? And I assume you would then have to isolate them for 14 days. Has that been spoken about as a club?
Yeah, absolutely, Moons. It's going to be a little bit tricky when it happens. We're probably expecting as a football club that once the AFL announces a comeback to training, that some of these restrictions will get lifted a little bit, which will make life a lot easier. But we would have 10 players at the moment that are interstate that we need to get back. And as the present rules they'd have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks. So that's 14 days in isolation before they're able to join the footy club, which, creates a few problems, obviously.
Story doing the rounds last few days, Jesse Hogan back doing some training. Justin, I know we're only sort of spitballing there, but how are you seeing that, and what are your hopes to come out of that?
Yeah, well, our club mentality doesn't really change. We just hope the best for Jesse, and we're supporting him through his issues. And yeah, he has taken some solid steps forward, and he's doing a lot of training and looking really fit. And most importantly, he's in a good frame of mind, and his mental well-being looks like it's in a good spot. So, not going to put any expectations on him, but things are positive, and fingers crossed we get him back at the club when we return, and he can take some more steps forward.
Justin, what about you? How are you handling things? I mean, you're a brand new coach. As a new coach, you just want to sink your teeth into this new job, and all of a sudden you found yourself isolated from everybody. How are you handling it?
Yeah, well, I feel like I've got really good support around me as a first-year coach going through this. Peter Bell's been amazing as a GM of footy. Simon Garlick's been around footy all his life, so I feel like I've got some good support around me. Yeah, and I mean, I'm just trying to take the positives out of it. I'm getting to spend a lot more time with my family. And I think as a footy club, largely we've looked at it at a real positive time and a time for us to grow. There's plenty of things we can work on. So we're looking at glass half full. We look to all come out of this better individually, but as a collective as well. I think there's been some really good opportunity for us as a playing group and coaching group to connect with our players and with each other. And yeah, like I said, we're just trying to take the positives out of it because there's no point dwelling on the negatives.
What are you doing tomorrow night at about 9 o'clock your time, 11 o'clock Melbourne time, Justin? Because there's an old game, round 21, 2005, we're about to replay. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. And judging, it was on a bit late. I thought it might have been a bit more prompt on than that.
Just a good grab.
Might have to stay up and watch it with the kids and take them through it kick by kick.
That is a massive grab, Moons, because he's had to reach over the entire pack. What about the pressure of the kick, mate? Could you hear much noise going on?
Well, not really, Jason. I did a lot of work on my routine and work with mental skills coaches over my time. And until you get in one of these pressure situations, you don't get to put that work into practice. So it held me in really good stead on that kick. And then they're the experiences you hope to pass on to your players and try and educate your players on. And I was fortunate enough to have a good experience on that occasion. I've got plenty of ordinary experiences I can share as well, but that was a good one, I suppose.
Interesting move to go and jump into the crowd too, mate. That sent him feral.
Yeah, well, I haven't lived that down. I talk about unity a lot as a coach, and I've just burned all my teammates and jumped in the crowd on that occasion. It doesn't go down too well. My teammates back then don't let me forget it, and neither do the players now.
Hey, when you have those moments, it's all about you. Don't worry about that.
Hey, what do you remember of the free kicks late in the game, Justin? Just talk me through this. Everybody's got to get a chance tomorrow night to make up their own mind about the free kicks. Definitely a free there?
Well, yeah, I would have thought so. He's clearly holding him, and I think I know where you're going with this, Dwayne. And I didn't actually really take much notice of it at the time. We had an important game to play the week after this, so we sort of moved on pretty quickly, and we didn't take much notice of what happened after this game. But yeah, I understand it was a reasonably large story.
Whispers in the sky match it was termed because of the aftermath, but here's the controversial one as well, Farmer and the holding the ball free, but it actually looks like it might be free kickable there.
That wasn't too bad.
I think that one was. I didn't like the free kick to McFarlane, but that was a good tackle. Ball wasn't correctly disposed of. It's going to be a great game, though. I'm looking forward to watching that one.
So just so people know, Grant Thomas got fined $20,000 that week.
Right.
For saying something about the umpires, basically saying they just need to check their egos at the door. So then after the game on the flight, someone heard them say, "Well, now we know what it's like to get a win." Oh. Apparently,
never proven.
Apparently,
hey, and before we let you go, Justin, what do you like with peer group pressure as a new coach? Because John Worsfold's done TikTok, Damien Harbick's done TikTok, Nathan Buckley's done TikTok. There's a bit of peer group pressure around the coaching fraternity right now.
Well. Yeah, I don't think TikTok's available over in Western Australia. I think it's more of an Eastern States thing. I think, to be honest, people are going through enough at the moment. They don't need to see me dancing.
I couldn't agree more. I've seen nothing yet on TikTok that would possibly encourage me to want to go down that path. And I think Justin's one of the few that's actually got his head swiveled on right.
Thanks for your time, Justin. Great to have a chat to you, and I'll have a chat to the Fox Footy scheduler, see if we can get that game moved a bit earlier into prime time. But it is 9 p.m. Perth time tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for your time and good luck.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the show.
Justin Longmuir joining us.